oh yeah, 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 yeah. Josh is like dancing like a
I don't know what I'm
maniac.
doing. I
Josh,
don't know what I'm doing.
what's your shirt say? Dreams or drums are the bacon.
It's true. Drums are the bacon of music.
It's true. Welcome everyone. We are the Murder Moose Podcast, part of the Slashing Cast Podcast Network.
It's in the game.
Oh,
It's in
oh.
Kansas.
It's in my ass.
It's in Kansas.
So what did you guys do when I left and you didn't have that little sound bite?
We just did it ourselves.
We just went. It's in Kansas, and
We did it in the game, and then we did the ass.
And you did it in the ass?
And then I did it in the ass.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. Yep.
I mean, we did things like we always do things off the seat of our pants, Josh. Off the seat of our pants. So
Okay.
Pants.
Okay.
But I'm Rod.
I'm Continue.
I'm Josh. WRB.
The WRist of bees. And yeah, we're back and we're doing this shit. You'll notice we are doing a movie called Grafted because the other movie that I had picked, Josh got bored with. And Ken and I hadn't watched it yet. So we're like, okay, it's cool. So we picked this movie.
I tried and I just couldn't. I was like, what? I don't like period movies, I don't think. I think it's just like a thing. Unless I'm like extremely in the mood for like a period movie, I'm just like, I'd rather it be like an actual period than a period movie.
It's a period piece.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge your what kinks make you run, Josh, but like, I don't like. I mean, after Nosferatu and then that, there's got to be something that you don't like about period pieces. Like,
I think that might be the thing, to be honest. Like,
because I'm not saying that Apostle movie was the greatest movie of all time, but I thought it was a fun little movie and like had like gnarly ass murders and stuff like that. But
I love The Witch, so I guess there's like few and far between. But still, I couldn't get through it. I was like, no, I'm just gonna turn it off. I'll take this week off. I don't care.
And then, man, I'm wondering, man, like Brian seemed like down in the dumps. He said he was sick, but I'm just like, he just kind of seems like he's bummed out, and it's just like, Brian, we love you. Don't die,
Brian.
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 It sounded like he said Brian, actually. Right? Brian.
I didn't tell you guys about the other day. We were going, we were headed to Walmart, so on an hour-long adventure, and there was a tow truck with like a flatbed that was like half on the highway, and it was having to pull a dead moose that was like huge out of the ditch.
This is just normal Canada.
Yeah, it's just it's wild to go to Tennessee and it's bears. Here there's like a fuckload of deer, moose, whatever.
It's all the things that are like, it's like Ken is like Sleeping Beauty, where she sings and the birds go kind of like what do you call her in the Shrek movies?
Except
and stuff like
all of the animals are like deadly.
I mean,
well,
you don't want
to
to
get to the mountains. There's just like lynx hanging out in my area.
Like, that's wild.
It's a wild cat. It's a big ass wild cat. But they're just
Diesel
like,
wouldn't know what to do with it.
Whatever. Like down the street, I'm on Facebook, and like my area has like a really active Facebook group, and they're just uploading a bunch of videos and pictures, and they're like, oh yeah, don't worry, I let the like school know that this is in the area. Just like hide your dogs and other cats because it looks hungry.
That's what they do on the like Ring camera board stuff that my parents have and that I have, because I have their Ring. But there's always somebody that's like, bear sighting, or look at this mom and babies, or
be bear aware.
Random shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's normal.
Do you know that the like that black dude who makes animal videos on, like, Instagram and YouTube and
Did
stuff
you
like
say
that, who
anal
always do
videos or animal videos? I
animal
heard.
videos. No, I said animal.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't think of the creator's name, but, like, he makes really cool videos about animals, and he recently did one about bears, and, like, it made me, like, there's a bear called the sloth bear that, like, is actually, like, the most, like, "I'm gonna fuck shit up" kinda bears in the world, even though it doesn't, like, have the highest ratio of, like, winning at fucking things
His
up, but
his
it
KD is in a good ratio?
it's I don't think his KD is super great ratio, but I'm just like, bears are just wild, man. Because like, kittens all by the black bears, which aren't that bad, like, you yell at black bears and they run away, and they're like I mean, I feel like weasel would scare the black bears away, but
Yeah, the cats can, like, especially if they surprise them. We used to have cats that would hang out on our porch in one of the chairs, and one day a bear walked up and got scared because the cats jumped, and it backed into the front door that was all glass and almost shattered the glass. It, like, bent. So, it was scary.
yeah,
Bears
that'll
have
do it.
no chill.
No, especially mama bears. You mess with a mama bear and you're gonna end up as bear shit. Bear
Bears.
shit. It's just a bare necessity.
Oh,
God damn it. I'm not clown dick, Josh. Stop it.
I okay. The picture didn't show up on the button. I was just wondering what the sound effect was because all the others have a picture and that one did not. So, and the only other
Yeah.
one that
It's
doesn't
in the
is,
game.
and I know that button. So
It's in the game. It's in Josh's ass. It's
It's
in
in
Josh.
It is.
Okay. Josh, are you wearing a Grateful Dead hat? What is your hat?
this is my buddy. He has a podcast, or he
Oh,
used to have
okay.
a podcast, Lloyd and JD. So
It looks
I'm the
kind
only
of like a
person that
Grateful
has this hat.
Nice. It looked like a Grateful Dead logo. That's why I said that. So,
Kind of.
yeah. What have you guys been up to? What I mean, Ken continues to survive in Moose Town, but like, what is you guys been up to anything cool?
Reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm
Yes.
stuck in that 80-85% range right now where I'm like, it's time to pick it back up and finish
He
it. And I'm like, oh.
he he does a lot of build up to the ends of the books and you get used to it. Like I've
Mhm.
listened to that book, I got all the way to book number 4 on my re-listen. So I listened to 1 through 6 and then read 7 and then 1, 2, 3 and was in the middle of 4 when I switched over to my Brandon Sanderson book. But like, yeah, it is it like, I think I like I said, I think that 3rd book's my least favorite book in the series, but I still think it's really good, but yeah, I love those books so much. I love them so much. I'm trying to get,
Right.
I'm the official dungeon crawler Carl, like, hype man. I'm the hype man for the dungeon crawler Carl, so, uh,
If I read,
I
which I have been, it's never it is always nonfiction. If I'm reading, it's to learn or to learn other whatever.
So
Now I'm doing like meditations and stuff, and
here's the
yeah.
thing about that. Like, there's a big thing on TikTok right now about how, like, if you're reading fiction, especially fiction like that's spicy or like Dungeon Crawler Carl or like whatever, that it's pointless and you might as well just be watching TV and like why do you bother? And I'm like, well, okay, but like you're still getting different viewpoints and you're still learning different things or whatever, but it's not necessarily educational. But I am looking for some good nonfiction. So if you have
yeah.
suggestions, Joshua, I am
Well, for
interested.
me, it's my ADHD. That was the two things in my life, like reading and writing, that just were those things that my ADHD didn't allow me to do. But then I found
Yeah.
out if I was learning something, I could read forever because I love to learn a new something or a new technique on something. So yeah, I just have
Yeah.
been like listening to like audiobooks on like 2 times speed while
Mhm.
working and reading other like just like self-helpy meditation type stuff just to like
Yeah.
get I don't know, new techniques, and I've always loved meditation stuff, so I'm feeling good. I'm feeling practiced, and
I
yeah,
feel
it's great.
I feel like stuff like that I is like the only nonfiction book I've gotten through in a long time was book 7 of Dungeon Crawler Carl. Most of the other time, like I bounce off of books like there ain't no thing anymore, but, like, stuff like I read last year a book called Many Lives, Many Masters, which is about reincarnation and, like, therapy, like, with reincarnation and all like that my therapist sent me after, and I really enjoyed that. And I have another audiobook that, like, that I have queued up called The Anxious Generation, which is, like, applies to all of us and how, like, social media and, like, the internet is fucking with our brains and kinda stuff like that.
It
So
really
that's queued
is.
up. Yeah, so that is kinda some of the stuff that I'm just like
I
that
just
stuff
threw
does
that
get.
Many Lives, Many Masters on my wish list. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I really, really like that book because it's basically about this therapist in the late '60s, early '70s who had this lady come in, and she was, like, the most anxious motherfucker in the world, and basically, like, through hypnotism was, like, unveiling how all these other, like, lives and, like, her dying and, like, as other people back in and then it would be, like, directly correlated. She was like, "Oh, afraid of water," and then, like, one of these past lives, like, drowned and, like, working through it, but, like, it's that take of, like, I think the whole, like, we don't know what's there and, like, just a different like, spirituality, right? Like, spirituality, I think, is a cool thing. I don't like religion, but spirituality, I'm, like, completely down with, and, yeah, that's the kinda stuff I dig,
Mhm.
yep.
That's me too, man. To
Yeah,
feel, to feel something. What is it?
yeah.
It's a ghost. It could be. Who knows? I like it.
I mean, I don't know. I've been watching this YouTuber lately who just does like scary, weird stories. Like Mr. What's his name? Mr. Fuck. What the fuck is his name?
Chills?
Not uh Mr. Ballin,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
who like a former Navy SEAL, and he just reads freaky stories and stuff like that. But I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I should probably not do this before bed.
I
But
fall
I don't
asleep
know.
sometimes listening to Let's Not Meet, which is, if you don't know what it is, it's a podcast where a guy reads user submitted creepy stories.
Yeah.
And like he's very calm. The whole podcast is very calm. And like there's been numerous nights I've fallen asleep listening to it, and Cats will come in and he's like, nope.
Yeah. It is. That's the kind of stuff, man. It's like, I mean, there's that running meme on the internet where it's like women will like do this with their like, and then like say their comfort food is like their comfort media is like murder podcasts or like Seven or like Terrifier or something like that, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, whatever. It's like what gets you through that day, what gets you through whatever, and yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's all relative, as long as you're not warping your mind with the shit, right? But
Yeah.
so, so Josh, you been doing anything besides working your balls off? Working your balls off?
Nope. That's it.
And now he has one ball and he's worked, you know.
Mhm. That's how it works.
Uh yeah. Okay, you guys want to dive into grafted? What is
Yeah.
you're like I
She's a
stopped me
ghost.
coming. Kim's a ghost, a spooky ghost.
She's a
Here, let
ghost.
me. Oh, by the way, I had people on my stream, or I don't even know what it was. It might have been in Katie's Discord yesterday, trying to get me to get a cod piece to go to Burning Man with because of you, Kim. And
Good. You should do it.
so, I mean, I might, but it's like,
A cod piece? What?
ugh. Kim calls me Rob the Cod. That's my nickname for Ken from
Yeah.
Ken. So,
Oh.
Rod the Cod.
and I thought she was talking about a fish for a long time, and she just meant
Mhm,
cod piece.
mhm.
And yeah, okay,
Well, you
let's
should
do
get
this.
a fish playing Call of Duty as a tattoo then.
How do you know it was playing Call of Duty?
Because cod.
Yeah,
I
see, cod. That's amazing. That's
But
perfect.
how would
A
you know
cod
that fish is
playing cod.
playing?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Because he's got a
Okay.
headset on. Come on. It would be like the Black Ops 3 edition headset or something.
Dude, I used to have the remote control like car from like the first Black Ops back in the day. So okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
we're
was
talking
such a
about
good game.
Grafted from 2024, and the synopsis reads as follows: a bright but socially awkward exchange student takes her craving for popularity to horrifying heights. Man, what it like we've been doing movies lately. I mean, this is the second one
Cringy.
where we have yeah, we're cringy, kind of like socially awkward female leads who are like the villains in these movies. Because like Saint Maud a couple like what last week, and now this, and I'm just like, this girl. You know what made me laugh about this whole movie though? Like the one thing that was like the this is her because we're gonna spoil the shit out of this, and I think we all liked it. It's just that you like put a big chunk of something on the girl's tooth, and then that's how you know it's
Yeah.
the crazy girl from the beginning. And it kind of reminded me. I don't know. I started it that really horrible Dear Santa movie that came out last year with Jack Black and
Oh yeah.
the the kid writes the letter to Santa, but he writes it to Satan because he's dyslexic. And there was a kid in it, his best friend has these like you can tell they are fake huge teeth. And like I'm like, oh, so he's gonna one of his wishes is to be to get this kid's teeth fixed. And I didn't make it far enough, but I heard someone talk about the movie, and yeah, he gets his teeth fixed, and it's like all that stuff.
Yep.
So it's like
I watched it.
because the yeah, did you? It it was
I
real
watched it
bad from
at
what I could
Christmas
tell.
time. So I just like just
Yeah,
whatever, and I put it on. Like it was like whatever. It definitely wasn't a
yeah.
good movie, but I made it through because it wasn't a period movie. So
Josh can watch terrible movies as long as they're set in current day.
yeah, it's just I don't know. I can't relate. And if I put it on when I normally would watch one of these movies, and I just still was like,
Yeah.
I'd rather, and I just went and drummed instead.
I will say, man, you said this is body horror, and yeah, this movie is body horror in a way
Well,
that is
it totally is, but I just literally was like, "What's this?" And I watched the trailer and was like, "Oh, I literally just." I'm like, "Well, if I'm gonna
yeah.
X a movie, I have to at least make a suggestion." So it was
Yeah.
just right there. I stumbled upon, and we're doing it
And
now.
it's a Shudder movie, so we know that like Shudder's like good. Like this weird movie was weird because I was like, it started off and I'm like, why are we in China after having talking about like New Zealand pictures and shit like this? Because most of this movie takes place in New Zealand. And and it's like this scientist weird dude who has one of the creepiest deaths I think I've ever seen, where it's like he's basically I these people are
It
so
was
fucking
sweet
vain.
opening. Like that was a really sweet
Yeah.
opening. Like
Yeah, that was a
having to
great
put her through
opening.
that and then like the zoom out after with like the pool of blood. I was like, "Whoa, that was fucking pretty fucking rad." Fucking
Yeah.
fucking.
I mean, yeah, he it's so funny, man, because he's got these silly birthmarks, which are whatever. We've seen worse we Ken and I were talking about in our chat this morning. We were talking about that influencer movie, Josh, right? And she had the
Yes.
big old
Yeah.
birthmark, which was way more noticeable than this
Because it
girl
was
and her
real.
dad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why it was more noticeable. These are just fake, and they're trying to make it this thing that is so bad, and they're just emphasizing it because it's the character defect. When nowadays you'd become like the next model for like they would hire you over someone that doesn't have like one of those.
Yeah, and it's not like she's not pretty. Like
No,
and her dad was kind of nerdy, but that was the point, right? He was a nerdy scientist who
just like
like I'm
get
gonna
some braces to fix the snaggletooth, and you'd be fine.
dude, I don't know about you guys. I know there are people who kind of have braces fetishes, like like a thing, and I'm just like,
Is that your thing?
I see it. No, it's not my
I've never
thing
heard of that.
at all.
Is that like your what are you calling those fucking ridge lines in the stomach?
Cum gutters?
Yeah, fuck. You're the only
It's
person in
not.
the world. Only person.
I'm. Not, I didn't make that term up. I've heard that term, so I'm not the only
Made it
person.
up.
Yeah, he made it up in
Did
his
not
dream and then woke up and was like, "Man, that guy
cum
had a
gutters.
really good thing that he said. I think I'm going to start saying it."
That's not what happened, Josh. Cum gutters is not like I'm gonna look up here. I'm gonna look up cum gutters on Google. Cum
No.
gutters.
Uh,
And if my computer blows up midstream, you'll know why. Cum gutters. Let's see what happens. from cum plus gutters by an analogy when an actual gutter on occasion when a person ejaculates on their sex partners or their own navel and the semen flows along the pelvis lines. I I didn't make that shit up, Josh. If I made it up, it wouldn't be on Wikipedia or Google would not know what I was talking about. But you know,
Well, you could have put it on Wikipedia. I wouldn't put it past you, man. It's
I
already begun. It's already begun. I'm being so friendly. Oh, the whole reason we couldn't watch last week's movie is because Rod spoiled it last time, and I couldn't watch it because he spoiled.
I did not spoil anything. I said there was gnarly death in it. That's a horrible statement to say. I ruined every plot element with saying there's a gnarly death in it. It's like going. It's a movie that is 90 minutes long. Rod, you ruined it.
I'm just
I
pushing
do,
that
John.
button.
I know you are. Just it is very much like my reactions are people pushing my buttons buttons.
Pushing your butter?
Are you saying gutters again? Shit.
No, I think it's probably thinking about Kin and her game that she plays with Butters, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, which South Park
Hell
made
yeah.
a joke about
It's
19 years ago, and now it's is it just an Animal Crossing clone, Kin?
Yeah. It's
With
basically Animal like, there's a few things oh,
Kitty.
shit. There are certain things that are different, but it's basically Animal Crossing, which is great, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I I just laugh because I'm like, I had the South Park call out of it like 19 years ago. Damn it, Josh! The moose
No, I
skull.
didn't hit the wrong button. It just kept it. It does that when I don't turn it off.
Oh,
Ugh.
okay. Yeah, so there's a scientist and his daughter who is what, like 10 years old or something like that. I don't know. She's not super old. And
She's old enough to
because they
fucking rip a face open.
yeah. Dude,
That was such a sick scene. That was so fucking metal. Oh, that
yeah,
scene was great.
so he's trying to get rid of these like, you know, birthmarks him and his daughter have. And so he
Then he
injects this thing
matrixed
into his
himself.
yeah, he turned himself into Neo, but it's way worse than Neo because
Oh,
Neo is
yeah.
only like
The
only mouth covered up, but like his mouth, his eyes, and his nose all covered
Yeah.
up, so he can't breathe.
Mhm.
So she just starts like he does it first. He like slashes it, which was like when you want to be a little more precise than that, but I guess you're panicking. And then keeps like slashing his mouth open so he could breathe, and then like he like
Why
falls
wouldn't you
over,
put like
and
a
then
straw in your mouth so it doesn't like or something?
Well, she did that with the one girl.
yeah.
She stuck the straw in her mouth while she was fucking with her. Or the guy?
Was it I think it was the professor.
I think it was the
doc
professor, yeah.
and, you're just like, it's this weird thing of like, I wasn't quite sure, like, it's this girl wants to be popular and like, very much like the girl that
Of
looks
course
like
she
tomorrow.
does.
Yeah.
I think she wants to be I don't know if she necessarily wants to be popular, but she definitely wants to be in with that group.
Yeah.
It was like Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Mean Girls with body horror and,
That's what one of the
like
descriptions is for the movie online. Somebody was like, "This is body horror Mean Girls."
no, you know what I would take it as? I would make it Mean Girls meets Face Off. I'm gonna take your face off. And he's just like, you need crazy Nicolas Cage and you would have everything now.
This
What are you
poster
doing,
is the
Zelda?
best poster for the movie. Like there's a whole bunch, but this one, like, yeah, this is good.
I it's cool because it's like that thing where like, you know what? And it was one of the things that impressed me about this movie because like as she like goes in and starts fucking with people, all these other actresses
They get to
have to
fucking
like
do the double acting thing. They all killed it. Every single one of them killed it
Mhm.
acting as
Yep.
the other character. Like I just
yeah.
believed, yeah, like it was really well done in that respect. I was like very
Yeah.
surprised that it was that like yeah, I don't know.
And then the true greatest actor in this whole movie is the Chihuahua that like all he does is like
Oh
act
my
like an
God.
asshole the entire movie.
Did you
Chihuahua's
see
like,
that, did you see that Netflix movie where they, like, plug into that machine and they switch bodies at this party type thing, and then
no, I know
they're
what you're
just
talking
like
about, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
it's I just there's something about movies where actors get to, like, play other actors like that. They're, like, going into each other's body. That was a fun movie. You guys would really enjoy it. I think that is, like it's horror almost adjacent. It's not really overly a horror movie, but it's like A24 style, if not
Yeah.
actually is an A24 movie, and it
Mhm.
has enough, like, style and funness to it, and just seeing, like, how you meet the first set of characters, and then when they switch bodies, seeing the people, like, acting like those other people, it's just fun, and this
Yeah.
one does a good job with that as well.
I mean, that's why that second, the new Jumanji movies, like,
Yes. Yeah.
when they all switch, like, spots in the second one, and they're, like, acting completely different from, like, who they were in the first one because it's other people. It's like video game characters, like, it's whoever's controlling
That's
them
why it
kinda
worked.
thing, yeah, yeah. Which they're making another one, I guess, at this point, but
Of
I don't know.
course.
The Rock dude at this point is, like, his most of his movies aren't doing great, so, like,
People are
I think he
over
need
it. Like, he got too
Yeah, he plays,
cocky.
like, the same character every time.
yeah.
Yep.
He was in Moana 2 though, which made $80 bajillion dollars, but, like,
That's
yeah,
different, though. Like, that's a
that's
franchise
g
that has a following already. It's Disney actually doing something that is gonna be good rather than whatever the hell else they've been doing lately.
dude, how many live action remakes do they have coming out this year? Because they have Lilo and Stitch, they have the Sleeping Beauty, and I think there's another one. I think
They
they have a
should just
third one coming
X
out.
the Sleeping Beauty. It's
I was gonna
not
say, are they finally actually releasing the
they
Sleeping Beauty
are, and
movie?
they should really just X it because, like, it's not gonna do
It
well.
looks it
It
looks
looks
The
bad.
terrible.
Snow White one is the one that I
Or
think is gonna
that's what I
do
meant,
really
Snow White,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
we're all talking about
yeah.
Snow White. I don't even
Yeah,
know what he
okay.
said.
I said Sleeping Beauty, but it's all
Oh,
those that time
yeah,
frame of
that's
the
Snow White.
early animated movies, but yeah. Um, I it's this movie does a lot, like, of, like, I think cultural, like it's weird because it has that cultural impact of, like, what your culture means to you, especially when you move, and, like, I felt it especially now in, like, 2025 when the world's falling apart, and you're like you see these people who are just trying to have their, like I almost felt like it was demonizing this girl in a way that like, I mean, obviously, she's a villain in this whole piece, but, like, it's that thing where it's just, like, people just wanna fit in and will do anything to fit in, and, like, when they do, and it's just like again, we talk about the
I wanna
stylist getting in.
know, speaking of, like, vilifying and everything, sorry, I wanna know who the fuck was it her mom that was talking about how she was a monster at the beginning before they sent her off? Like, who the fuck was she talking, to?
I mean, so her mom was never in the movie, like, her mom was already out of the picture at the very beginning when her dad was doing that. So that was her aunt that she went to live with, right? That because that was her
Yeah.
Yeah,
cousin with but,
totally.
like, I don't think they her mom was mentioned at all, and it was
Well,
she?
I just don't know who the fuck they were talking to when they were talking about how she was a monster and how, like, she would never fit in and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't know. I don't know. I, like that's the thing too. Well, like, this movie jumps all over the place with, like, languages, right? It goes from Chinese to, like, English, and, that's why, like, the it sucks, but, like, that her cousin's such a douchebag this entire film that, like, I wonder if, like, her cousin wasn't so fucking such a bitch to her, if how differently everything would have been, but, like, then she starts killing people, and then she's like it's very much like Black Christmas where there's just, like, bodies wrapped up in plastic all over, like,
Oh, yeah.
there's a body in plastic here, and there's a body in plastic here because dude, her body count she kills more people than, like, Jason does in some of the movies. It's like she kills, like, 6 or 7 people
She
because she
just wants a new
kills
face.
yeah, I mean, that's what I didn't get though, like, especially once she figures out because she kills her cousin and then uses her face, and then, like, she knows that her face is gonna fall off, and, like, I don't know about you guys,
I don't
at
think
that
she
point,
knew that at first.
well, I mean, I'm talking about when she did, like, when she, like, had to glue the face back on because she glues her cousin's face on, like, back on, like, once, right? And you're like, "Okay, so you know this is gonna last," and I'm just like, you
We should go to
are
the mall and get some moisturizer.
Yeah, that was
it dude, and it's like that one the kind of like New Zealand looking girl who's the one girl who's actually nice to her the whole movie and gets the most extreme death of out of everyone where she fucking plastic bags her to death, which I hate that so much on a level that's like, dude, I think like getting suffocated to death in a plastic bag must be a pretty fucking horrible way to die, right? Like makes me think of like, was that Stir of Echoes or like with Kevin Bacon and like that girl got killed in the house and all that shit, and it was like they suffocated her with a
I don't know.
plastic bag. It's just you ever seen that movie?
I
Stir
don't
of
think so.
Echoes?
mm-mm.
So it's like he moves Kevin Bacon moves into a house and then like he's problems. So like his sister or like girlfriend or someone like I forget because it's been a long time, like hypnotizes him, and then he starts getting these visions of this girl dying, and he ends up like going through the whole shit with it. And I think she ends the yeah, but like it's a cool movie, but it's like pretty dark and twisted. Like that was like when those like that was like the time frame it feels like of that and stuff like what was it What Lies Beneath, the one with Harrison Ford and Michelle Pfeiffer and
Yeah,
like
I know that one.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's that kind of like like not possession, but like vision having, kind of thing. And but man, I it's that thing where this movie is like Josh said at the beginning, it's awkward. Like this movie is like because another character that like is socially awkward as hell. And then you feel bad for her, but then it's like she keeps making things worse and you can't feel bad for her
Well,
because
like,
like
I feel like when it starts, whenever everything really starts to change, I feel like it's just like terrible coincidences, terrible, mistakes, whatever. Like when she's with the boyfriend and he falls over the cliff, like I just felt like it was products of circumstance or whatever. But then
yeah,
as she continued, you're like, okay, now you know what you're doing. You see what you're up to. Like, this doesn't work.
yeah. I mean,
Well, also
there's a lot.
stealing your cousin's face and then fucking her boyfriend isn't really a good
That's
start.
fair. That's fair.
Am I the only one who was like, does nobody not notice her like her one giant
Yeah, the
cartoon
big
character tooth?
snaggle tooth.
Yeah.
It's like we did.
I I don't know. It's like that thing where like, are you justifying? Are you just like not justifying? Are you just like trying to see what you want to see? Are you like going, I don't want to see that my girlfriend has been taken over by her crazy cousin because that doesn't make logical sense. Because obviously no one knows that like you could do that. Um, dude,
I think that's correct. I think that's
yeah.
correct.
Dude, when she fucking like when she gets into the lab with the professor dude and like cheese graters her leg
Oh
and
my
she's
god.
just like
I
I'm just
I
like,
I normally don't like I'm never affected by movies normally. Like
yeah,
usually almost ever. But for some reason that I was just like, "Oh," and I was like, "Holy shit." Like
yeah,
it was well filmed and
Yeah,
I don't know like I don't normally cringe or even like at all. Like I watched Terrifier 3 in the theaters and was just like, "Oh yeah, cool." And this I was like, "Oh my god." What the fuck?
it's
Don't
funny
get it.
because it's very specific stuff that gets me, right? Like I know Josh, the other thing that gets you every time is arms
Yeah,
breaking randomly.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, it's traumatic
yeah, because you're
experience. Brings me
yeah,
right
because you're
back.
gym class. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, man, I don't know, like I get it because there's some things where like I think it's also the self-harm aspect of it, like where she's
Yeah.
just sitting there going like, "Oh, my legs is cheese grater," and you're just like, "Okay, bitch, I understand what you're doing." Also, this is just me
oh,
who
as
goes,
soon as you said cheese grater with that, all I could think of was
Evil
the
Dead.
Evil Dead, yeah.
Oh, loved
yeah.
it.
It was so
Uh,
good and so fucked up. Ugh.
oh, dude, that and the fucking when the glass is in the throat. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Yeah, I don't like that. But like, um,
You
I'm
know a
like,
movie's
bitch, you
good
could.
when Rod just describes it with sound effects.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I, most of the time, it's good. I mean, again, we did that with the whole the sadness, Josh, where we were like,
Yeah, but it's still it's a really good movie. It just literally there's no line anymore after that movie.
Yeah.
Like there is no line. Like I think the Terrifier guy didn't even didn't even come close to the amount of lines that the sadness crossed. Like
Yeah, because you fuck eyeball holes, and you just
yeah,
what is too far? Ken's like, what?
that
Ken's
movie
like, "Whoa."
has so many different levels of just like no. And then like they even like they'll set it up and it's just like, well, they've already gone there, there, and there. So yeah, that's not off out of
Yeah.
bounds either for this
Wait,
fucking
you know
movie.
what else? Also, the other movie that like I actually had thought processes of while watching this was The Substance, because they kept having the vials
Yeah.
like with
Yeah.
the weird colored stuff, and you're like the one that made her dad like turn into like Neo from the Matrix was like just looked like egg yolk, and
But it was the
then
same, like, he's had, like, a very detailed, like, AI drawn, like, flower in his book,
Yeah.
I did enjoy that like the corpse flower was somehow the key to all of this, and I'm just like, if you don't know about the corpse flower, it like literally only blooms every 5 years or something like that? And like when it blooms, it smells like rotting corpses, which I think is the point, is that it like animals come in to try to eat it and then like end up pollinating other things and whatnot. But like I don't know, just like berries are like, hey, if you eat me and shit me out, you're gonna end up planting my things. And it's the same kind of thing with a corpse flower, I assume. But I don't know.
sounds right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, her dad had that corpse flower. She's like, "It's the pretty drawing from your book," and I'm just like, it almost made me wonder because,
That
like,
was
at
definitely
one
a
point
plot
where
device and a half. Holy shit, that book.
yeah, yeah. Well, dude, the professor's friend translates this for me. He's like, "Dude, this is fucked up." Basically, he's like, "This is in," and
This is
you never get it.
Reanimator fucking shit, man. Like, holy
Yeah. But this movie didn't have a head that goes down on a lady's, or was that Barbara Crampton it went down on? I don't know, but I love Barbara Crampton. I love me some Barbara Crampton. But yeah, it's like The Substance had that ringings because it was the same kind of thing of like not being happy with yourself and doing anything you can to be like feel accepted or feel exceptional in society. And this movie was like, you have a girl, 18, 19-year-old girl going to college on a full ride scholarship, and she still isn't happy with herself because of her social, life, even though she's this fucking genius who like is obviously really smart, and like she acquired the attention of her dude. I hate that professor. I hate him so bad. He's
yeah.
such a scumbag. Like,
Mhm.
but he's really smart because like you see the I wonder what his like thing was, like his breakthrough. Like at 17, he had some breakthrough that like made him famous. But then he's like, in his 40s banging 19-year-olds because he can. And you're just like, you're gross, dude.
Well, especially
You're
how arrogant he is about it too. Like that's what
yeah.
made him even more gross. Like, yeah, what he was doing was gross, but then he was a fucking asshole about it too. Like,
I mean, that's like a thing, right? That's a reoccurring theme with like especially horror is like the arrogance of people, like professors and scientists and shit, like take being their downfall, right? Like you have like him in this, and it says like the guy in the Fly, like that's the, like
yeah.
because he's arrogant as shit and doesn't like doesn't try to stop himself, and it's just like arrogance is always a real bad trait to have in a horror movie because if you have arrogance, you're probably gonna die. So I Kitty. Like, Ken, I love how, like, Weasel used to just be, like, running and, like, slamming on your keyboard and shit and, like, not harassing you during whatever, and since you've moved
Where's Brian?
Brian's not here. Weasel's just like, "Okay, this is now my spot, and I will live here forever, and this is
She's
where."
been back to, like, roaming a lot,
Yeah,
but yeah, she likes it right there, which is good. I think
yeah,
she couldn't do it at the other place because the chair wasn't like this, but
yeah. And
just
being against the
camouflages.
wall helps. She's like, "You do not see me. I'm a
Yeah, I'm
kitty."
Ninja Cat.
Blind yeah. One of the bands that I really love as of recently, Josh, is Samurai Pizza Cats, which is
Nah,
the side
good.
project of the guitarist from Electric Callboy, so,
It's
yeah,
fun. Anything with a
they're
name like
goo
that is fun.
yeah, they're good time. Um,
Poison the Well has a new track out, and it's fucking sick. Check it out.
is it? Yeah. I okay, I watched this yesterday morning. She ends up dying at the end, right? Or am I losing my fucking mind? Did she die at the end of this movie? Or did she get caught? I forget what happened at the very end of this movie. Why am I forgetting what happened
Oh
to
my
her at
god,
the
I
very end?
forgot too. What the shit?
You just put me on the
So,
spot, ADHD style, so I'm not gonna remember
She
now.
I remember
just
her
the
aunt,
clock
like, driving
came in, her aunt Dude, what the fuck happened at the end of this movie?
You're
our
supposed
brains
to.
all
I don't know. I watched it a couple days ago.
I bet
Uh,
it's more amazing that no one remembers what happens at the very end of the film. Um,
Credits rolled.
that's true. The credits did roll.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
I'm
wasn't
not
she? Oh
neighbor
wrong.
no!
took the dog.
Oh, I remembered. She merges with the homeless dude. They like
Oh, right,
That's
become
right, right,
right.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is dude, that is the best character in this whole movie is
yeah.
the
He's
homeless
awesome.
dude who is with the burn thing and is just it just shows that like you could be down on luck and still be a really nice dude and you try to take care of her and try to befriend her and then she injects him and they become like
One.
like it's the substance meets like I don't know, the blob or something like the fly or like the dude, the fucking face there at the end though, where it's like the fingers are on the face
Yeah.
and it's like, "Ah," and it's like, "Uh," probably because it traumatized us all like to death with the what, Josh? My noises.
Yep, that's the movie. Fuck.
I mean, this is the saddest thing in this whole movie. He goes, "What did you do to me?" And he's like, and then she's just like this homeless blob monster thing, dude, person. So yeah, I don't know.
It was better than
I
the
thought
other movie.
I
I'm
it's
glad
gotta
it
be a
was. If I was just like, hey, I don't want to do this movie, and you've seen it and you liked it, and then I just like come
yeah.
out with some random shitty movie, I would have felt really bad. And I'm glad this movie wasn't shitty because after I watched it,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that is a justified like pivot to this, and it even if it wasn't like the most amazing movie or anything, it was really good for a Shudder flick. It had
Yeah.
enough like you said, the kill count is up there, and for a movie that is in I don't know, like especially going from like, okay, I don't want to watch a period movie, and then going to something that is like so brand new and like really uh has a commentary on like the like new age, new I don't know, like younger demographic. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't see eye to eye with younger kids anymore. I feel old sometimes. I'm just like, young kids. It's a weird thing.
There's
So
a whippersnapper. Oh, dude, there's this guy on Instagram and TikTok and stuff who makes all these really funny videos that I love where it's like he plays like millennials and boomers and Gen X's and Gen Zers and he's just bust and it ends up being I
Is
think
that
he's
the black guy that has, like,
yeah,
different Yeah, I like him.
yeah.
he's
And
awesome.
he just like he does the boomer old lady and like
Mhm.
shit like that. And I assume he's a millennial because the millennials end up being the largest target of all his videos. And you're just like, oh, why? Why? I I think it's not fair that like when our entire adult lives have been fucking bad shit after bad shit after bad shit, and we've all like lived like 15, 20 years as like in this shit insane world. Why don't people cut us a little bit of slack? I'm just not saying all the slack, just a little bit of slack. Just a little bit of slack. Ken, I have to ask, did you find anything cool about this movie? Did you find anything like
I didn't see anything. I flipped through, and where I usually find trivia and stuff, there wasn't anything. It was
It's
very
too underground.
limited. Yeah. No, I mean, the only thing I really saw was that they gave a quote of, like, what they made in theaters, which obviously it's a Shudder movie, so it's gonna be, like, whatever, it was, like, 17,000. I didn't see the
Yeah.
budget for it. Like, I couldn't find a lot as far as that went.
Yeah. I think this movie was another movie, like, we talked about it with Saint Maud, where, like, you have these kind of micro budget movies that can look way more expensive than they are because they're shot well, they're shot with like, this movie was shot well.
Really well.
Um, the acting, like you were talking about, is really good, especially for,
Mhm.
like, characters playing character like, you're, like, going Inception into it, and, like, the fucking professor was very hateable. I mean, it's not like a super, like, distinct role. He's a douchebag. I mean, it reminds me kind of like of the professor from the Happy Death Day movies, or like you just want to punch him the whole time because he's banging all the students. But
Mhm.
like that doesn't matter when like they're all like they play their roles well, and you just like you feel like what you're supposed to, and it's just like it's that thing where, like, we talk about, like, that's so it's like the most cringe thing you could do, I think, in horror is do that socially awkward stuff where you're just like, "No, I don't want why can't you act like a normal human being? Act like a normal human being."
But nothing will get
So,
to the level of The Stylist. Like that I there's no movie I think I've ever seen that made me
yeah,
have to get up and walk around my room and be like, "Ah," and like
yeah.
I was so uncomfortable the entire time watching that
Dude,
movie, like several
I
times.
covered my eyes during the vibrator scene. I covered my eyes because it was so cringe. And Kin's like has no idea what we're talking about. But like there's a scene in that movie involving a vibrator that I'm like, oh no, no, I was like this. I was like a little kid watching a monster movie where the monster scared me. And the monster was social, like not being able to socially control yourself and doing things that you go, it's there's a I don't it's not a famous story. Classy Katie plays in on her channel all the time, and it grosses me out where this chick told the story where she called in like some British like sex talk show where she fucking was house sitting for her parents. And I can't even say this with my eyes open. And she like her parents were out and she was horny. So she went into her parents' bedroom and pulled out a box under their bed and
Was it
fucked
her
herself.
parents?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was her
I don't
mom's
remember.
dildo and a vibrator, and she came, and then afterwards, she noticed it was clone of Willie. So she fucked herself with her own like, a clone of Willie of her own dad's, and it's just like I'm like,
Oh, that's
I
so
love
many
and
that
different
the
levels
story.
of cringe.
Like,
yeah,
why are you using your mom's vibrator? 1. 2,
yes.
why are you using your mom's vibrator? 3, why
3,
the
why
fuck
are
are you
you
using your mom's vibrator?
well, I'm like,
You
because
know you've done
you
something right when a podcast can't stop talking about it 10 years
yeah.
later.
It's just like I'm like, I know we've all been super horny and done things that we regret. I understand that because believe me, at 41 years old, I have a list. I've done things in the last 2 months that I, like, regretted after being horny. But, like, it I don't know, man. It's the thing where, like,
Keep it
with
in your
you guys I don't know
pants, Willie.
what? Oh, I I don't know, man. It's just I think it's because of my relationship with my family that shit fucks with me even more, and, like, it's like I feel like the same people who are, like, going that's why the idea of step porn that's so fucking popular makes me wanna vomit.
I don't know if it's so popular is it just keeps is it popular? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's popular because it's on the front page of all the fucking
I
porn
think it's like
sites.
a meme. I don't think it's popular. I think it's just like, "Oh, you know what?"
You don't No, it's not a meme if people are jerking off to it, Josh.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, but, like, yeah, this movie does that good job of you're just, like, watching a character that you're just, like, driving along in a car and the brake
You
lines
know
are
they're
cut.
acting, right?
I Yes, Josh, I realize that the pornos are acting. I understand that. God damn it, Josh. God, it doesn't make
You
it
watch the
it
first 5 minutes? I just skip right through. None of that shit matters, man. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
You're like, "Oh,
it doesn't
fuck, I got my popcorn. I got the
I
I'm
gotta
here
get
for
the
the
story out of the
storyline.
porno, Josh. I gotta get the story out of the porno.
That's just a waste of fucking time.
Oh fuck, man! How do we get here? How have we gotten to the point
Because
where
you're
this is
talking,
this
man. It's just you talk, and then it instantly goes down the gutter.
I mean, and then you poke
cum
it
gutters.
and make it worse. You're like the cum gutters. Yes, the cum gutters. I don't know. I did like this movie. I don't think like I would say like if you give this out of 10, I would probably say this movie is like about a 7.5 out of 10. Like kind of
Yes.
like it's fun and high quality, but I probably like when we go and do our like horror like best of the year at the end of the year, this movie probably won't
No.
be there.
No.
But like
But most Shudder movies won't. Like they're like that nice light snack before something big. Like the monkey looks really fun and looks like not just a nice light snack. It looks like it's going to be like a good fucking chunk
yeah,
of
I'm
a
excited.
movie.
Dude, they just
And
had
Hard
another
Eyes looks
trailer for
good.
that. Yeah, Hard Eyes is supposed to be good. And I'm like, people are like, oh, these trailers. I'm like, why are you watching horror trailers? Like, of all the terribleness that is trailers in Hollywood right now,
Yeah, I don't watch
horror
shit.
trailers are worse than any other genre of just like revealing the whole fucking movie. You know?
Yeah, like third act bullshit. Like one of the
Yeah.
reveal that would happen in the third act. Like what the fuck
Oh,
is this shit?
I have a side note, and I want to talk about you guys because I forgot about this earlier. Did you see that Stu is officially coming back to Scream 7
Yeah, I
and
did.
Yeah. And Roman's coming back?
Yeah.
No.
3 different Ghostface are coming back.
Well, Stu and Roman and who else?
What's her name from Scream 4?
4?
Robert's character?
Yeah. She's coming back too?
Yeah, like
I have no idea what they're doing, and supposedly Kevin Williamson came up with a really cool idea, but it sounds fucking desperate as shit right now. And I'm just like,
they're bringing
you
back
guys put
fucking,
yourself.
if Matthew Lillard being in it again is it should have happened already, and the fact that it is happening, I'm just happy about it. But then
Well, dude,
the fact that they're bringing back like all these different Ghostface that all died, it's just like it's just like the last movie. The guy got shot like fucking not 50 Cent, and then he's just like, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay, I'm alive,
dude.
I'm
That's
50 Cent.
why I hated Scream. The thing I hated about Scream 6 was you sit there and you go, especially fucking Chad, bro. I think his name was actually Chad in the movie. That motherfucker should have died in 5. Came back to 6, took even more stab wounds in the 7 in the 6th one, and now he's back in the 7th one again. I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
he's 50 Cent.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it takes urgency away when your characters like get the shit kicked out of them and then still come back. It's like, what's the point? What's
Well,
the
it's
point
just
of
like
this?
Fast and the Furious. Like they kill people and then they come back. It's like surprise.
Yeah, I know, but that's Fast and Furious, man. Like those movies, they went to space, Josh. They went to space.
There's
surprise.
so many Fast and Furious movies. It's wild.
I haven't heard anything about the new ones though. They're like the last one was a cliffhanger in like 2023 or whatever it was, and now they're like I haven't heard anything. And they're supposed to do a Rock spinoff, and I don't know, man. I don't know.
The Rock is
I hope Scream
is overrated now.
Yeah. I hope Scream 7's good. I really do because we've talked about it. I really like Scream. I think I really like Scream 6 up until that.
That's
third
my
act.
next tattoo, man. Like I'm getting a Ghostface like very soon, and
where's your
I'll
Psycho
always love
Gorman
the
tattoo?
Scream. Like I have to hype up Psycho Gorman enough to my tattoo artist for him to actually, because he just like if he's pumped, he just because we trade and stuff. So like
yeah.
So he just has to be pumped on it. He loves Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do this on you, and he's gonna have them, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then he's like, fucking Mikey, hell yeah! Like I've always wanted to do a Mike Myers tattoo, and he fucking killed it. And he's like, actually, Ghostface is pretty awesome. It would be a really fun tattoo. So he's into it, and he wants to do it. And then like, I need to get him really pumped on Freddy because he's like one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
So I want Freddy to be fucking dope ass. But Psycho Gorman, he watched it, he didn't like it, and it's not like he doesn't like comedy horror. He likes horror. So like I love comedy horror, and Psycho Goreman
Yeah.
is like a perfect fucking like smoothie of comedy horror. It's the perfect
Yeah.
blend, perfect flavors, the perfect stupidity. It's
It's
perfect.
wonderful. Yeah,
Yes.
it's great. It's just a wonderful movie. I don't know, man. I I don't know. I think it's weird that, like, I mean, it's not weird, but your situation with him is like that. It's interesting 'cause so you end up getting what he wants to tattoo, right? So like,
I don't care.
yep. Which,
But
yeah, I mean,
he asked for a top 10 list of my favorite like horror genres and characters so he could like understand what he will be doing. He's like, I'm doing all of them, by the way, because I went there was like too long of a gap in between me getting tattooed and someone else
yeah,
wanted to trade like, video services or just marketing stuff and
yeah.
did a Friday the 13th tattoo on me. And he's like, fuck you. Like the fact that you did one of my favorite movies without me. He's like, no, what's your list? I'm doing them all. I'm like, okay, that's sick. I'm excited because
Uh,
he's fucking really good.
yeah. Um, have you guys thought about anything to watch next week? I'm not allowed to pick movies anymore because Josh will say they're boring, and then when they're period pieces.
I've never done that. That's the first time.
I'm just I'm just giving you shit because I'm like,
When does Hard Eyes come out? I thought that came out pretty soon.
it
I
doesn't
think it's
matter,
like
kid.
the 9th. I can't see it until I after the 19th, I'll be able to go to movies for a month.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, as of the 19th, well, as of the 20th, I can start seeing movies up until the 18th of March.
Okay.
Yes, and then Ken will be back in the real world. Back in the real world. Um, yeah, there's did we I think we talked about it last week. They actually picked up Toxic Avenger because of
Oh,
Terrifier
yeah.
3, so I'm
I'm
very excited for
excited.
that.
I'm
When that
very excited.
Not
Peter
until
Dinklage,
August,
man.
though.
Why is it so far away? I guess it's closer to Halloween, that's why. But when's Terrifier
So
3
they can
coming out on
market it.
Blu-ray?
Like,
Is
they
that
don't need to market this fucking thing. Just put it out and people will go and watch it. Like, Jesus.
yeah,
Like,
I don't
the
know.
people that are going to watch it will know it's out and go and watch it. Like,
Mhm.
no one else
Okay,
is going to want to watch it. Or if they do go and watch it, they're going to hate it. So
I'm
it's
trying to figure
very
out,
niche.
I'm trying to figure out what that movie. Oh, okay, yes. You wanna do It's What's Inside next week then? The one you were talking about, Josh?
Huh? I was talking about this?
The horror swapping body swapping one.
Oh, yeah, we could watch that. Is
It's
that
called It's What's Inside,
is
isn't
that
it?
horror, though? Not really a horror movie.
It
Oh, I
it's a
guess it
body swapping.
technically is. Yeah, it says comedy, mystery, science fiction, thriller, drama, horror.
Okay,
Apparently.
we'll do that. It's
It's just
What's
fucking
Inside.
everything.
Dude, that's like did either one of you see Bodies, Bodies, Bodies?
Yes, it was terrible.
I didn't
Terrible,
see it.
terrible.
Well, it was I liked it up until the reveal, which I think I kinda knew it was coming, but, like, if you don't know, I don't wanna ruin it, but there's a twist at the end of the movie, and you're just like, I just feel like I wasted my entire 2
I went and
hours
saw it
or
in the
whatever.
theaters and
Yeah.
like it was fun enough and it was like, yeah, it was stupidity, but then it was just
Yeah.
stupidity.
Well,
And you're
dude,
just like,
that it
okay.
and they took the best character, and he's the first one to die. Pete
Yeah.
Davidson, he's an asshole, but, he's, like, a funny
He's
asshole.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched
Well,
his
he was
stand-up
probably the
recently, and
most expensive person to have in that movie. So they just
dude, he did a whole bit in his new stand-up about having a stalker and how scared, but also, like, flattered that someone was his stalker. Just I'm just like, "You're
That
funny, dude."
sounds yeah, that sounds exactly like something he would say.
Okay, I gotta put It's What's Inside on in the Discord.
And it's Netflix, so it's very accessible.
Is that what it's called? It's What's Inside?
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
am
I
I
don't have Netflix anymore.
Well, it's on other things as
It's
well.
on the Josh Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It's What's There it is. Okay, yeah, it came out last year. Okay, cool. I'll put that in the chat. Okay, guys. Josh, you wanna pimp your stuff?
joshwrb.com. I've been pimping out my wrbdesign.co. I'm switching up a bunch of things, offering some new services and packaged services as products that you can purchase right on the internet, as well as a new push for the blog. And there's a ton of content coming out. It's going to wake me up again and my personal
Inside?
brand.
Wake
No.
me up inside.
So
Wake
I
me
have
up.
like, I have the start of a strategy to come back on my personal YouTube and everything else. And it all ties back to WRB. Those are the initials, and they're waking up. So it's fun.
Nice. You can find me on Rod_Johnson on Twitch and Twitter. And, not Twitter. I don't do Twitter besides when I'm going live. My book, The Death and Rebirth of Human Art, you can buy that on Amazon. So you do that. And Ken, all your stuff.
Continue.com, twitch.tv/continue. It's KINTINUE. Plain Satisfactory again. Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll catch you guys next week with It's What's Inside, and we love you, and we'll see you guys soon, and hopefully Brian feels better. So,
Bye.
hunky boys.